Okay. All right then, let's get this started. Quick sound check. Yeah, sounds good to me. Okay, let's do it. If it doesn't sound good, do let me know. Okay, wonderful. So welcome to yet another Narwhals live stream. Today, I'm going to start, sound check confirmed, hi come. I'm going to start by looking at some things to do with the Daft integration, which is very close to being complete. We can't actually ship it yet because we're waiting for them to make a new release, which includes some fixes which block quite a few tests from passing, namely the ordering of null values. So there are places where we need to order null values first, and they always put them last. So we need to be able to use that configuration option. And then we can look at some open pull requests. Well, we've got Cam in the chat. He's got a really nice pull request for coalesce. We've got a pull request for offset by. So let's see how far we can get. Let's do this. So first of all, let's see if we can address the Daft issues. All right, here we go. This looks like it's visible. So tests were passing when I ran them locally, at least most of them, I think. We're just getting an issue here with typing, which is argument of type none cannot be assigned to parameter if else, of type expression in function if else. Okay, well, let's take a look at that and see if we can resolve it. So if other is none, if else none. Well, that's a bit odd on their part. It's like you need to pass an expression. If else none. Oh, well, presumably, if else none. Does it work to just use like lit none? Let's see, because I think we use this in a couple of places. So we've got it here. And then here, do we not use, yeah, we use if else here, then none, which is odd. So here condition, okay, wow. This is interesting. So for some reason, condition here is getting revealed to be of type any. Whereas here, condition is getting revealed to be of type expression. So let's take a look at these two, evaluate expr and evaluate window expr. So evaluate expr, the return type is any. Whereas in evaluate window expr, the return type is native expr t. Right, we might want to make a separate pull request to address this. I think this really needs addressing. Why is this any? This doesn't look like it should be any. And it's probably something well, the git blame points towards done, but it's probably because he moved over something that I'd done. If there's an any, it's far more likely that I added it. So let's just make a work in progress commit. The first ever progress in Narwhals was WIP, so I feel like it's a good commit message with typing. Hey, good afternoon, Stelios. How are you doing? Did you have a study session in the end? Okay, so evaluate expr return type reset hard upstream main. Okay, let's do this. Let's set the native expertity as the return type, and let's see what breaks. Oh dear, I'm already seeing something. Appears only once. Okay, there's probably a reason why we've got any there. So here we've got native frame T, two narwhals T. Do we need to make this protocol generic in native frame, native expertity as well? Maybe. Okay, just curious to try this and see how much breaks. So then we're getting it red here because we need to add it here as well. Yeah, this is... Yeah, we should just be able to put a native X. Okay, I'm just going to temporarily try to put any here because this is the eager one. And yeah, then let's see if there's any other places where this needs updating. Probably quite a few. I'd say that this is... I can already see the writing on the wall for spending the whole live stream on this. So instead, let's not do it. Let's see if we can manage to fix up at least daft. Right, let's see if this works. Extra and series, when, then test. Nice. 31 tests passed in 1.5 seconds. I must say, daft is kind of nice to work with. I mean, just for comparison. Dask takes, yeah, 2.6 seconds. So yeah, the local development experience with, what's it called? Daft is a lot nicer, I think. Presumably the cloud experience as well. It just seems like a much better designed library. 1 divided by 2 bugs notwithstanding. But to be fair, that's the only major... No, I found a sorting bug that was pretty bad. But we've not found too many glaring issues. I mean, we've found glaring issues in virtually all libraries except for PySpark. Okay, where were we? Yeah, okay, done this. Did we push? We didn't push. Okay, let's push and let's see what CI says. Let's see if we're at least able to get CI green. And then when Dusk make their release, we can hopefully just update it and get it all green. So my hope is that the first half an hour of the stream, so first Pomodoro session, we can get Daft green. Then we can move on to reviewing some PRs. Let's take a look. Okay, this might take a little time to get started, so let's take a look at a few other things. So any new activity here in is masked type. Oh yeah, I saw this earlier. Any chance it could lead to an update in Panda stubs? Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure, test the public function, that's fine, just as long as we explicitly test it so that if pandas was to change this internal, then we would know. Oh, sorry, just been... Wait a sec, what's going on with the browser? Firefox. Okay, yeah, let's... Okay, now I think the browser should be coming through. Right. Okay, so a couple of things. Where's the Daft PR? Okay, it's not red yet. This could be because everything is queued because CI is so... No, it started. Some things are passing, presumably the CI jobs where Daft isn't running. But typing 1 minute ago hasn't failed yet. This would be my Pi. 0 errors from Pi right. All right, winning. 10 in progress. Okay, so let's check back soon to see if we can get anywhere. So, okay, we've got this offset by. We've got, yeah, a few others that are still drafts. And coalesce. Yeah, this simplification looks nice. I just need to take a break from refactors. Okay, coalesce. This was 3 weeks ago, and I think it's pretty much ready, so we should probably see if we can get it in. So, gonna fetch from Cam Riddle's remote. And we're gonna check out feed coalesce. And there was something I wanted to double check. Yeah, so here in Arrow. So this is a little confusing to me. Why are we splitting this between init series and series? Oh, to get init series.name, presumably. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, because we're following the left-hand rule. Okay, nice one. Then we need to... This is a little confusing to me. Why are we doing broadcast literal? What if we had an aggregation? Do we have a test for that? Okay, let's check. So coalesce test numeric. Okay, yeah, we've got the test which includes a literal, but do we coalesce strings? Okay, yeah, right. We don't have a test which includes an aggregation. So let's write an extra test for that. With aggregation. Well, we just need with ag. So I'm going to say coalesce A and B. Yeah, let's do A and then column B mean. Yeah, I think we don't need C for this example. This is going to be our C. Df select C. Okay. Let's see if we can get that. So can I? Let's do sum so we don't have to bother with floating point numbers. So the sum of column B should be 9. So I want A, but essentially coalesce with just 2 columns should be the same as fill null. Yeah. Which should we deprecate fill null? I mean, probably not, but does it have any reason to exist? Maybe not. But I don't want to abuse the design of Python by deprecating anything that there is another way of doing. So 9. And let's see if this passes. I'm virtually certain that something unexpected is going to happen. No way! Well, this is very pleasing. Wow. Did it actually run? Just gonna run it slightly. Yeah, it all passes. Wow. The aggregation is passed due to the expression check, right? Oh. If it's an expression, we just pass the expression in, and otherwise we make a literal, which we need. Oh, I see. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. And if it's an expression, then does the broadcast happen somewhere else? Presumably inside. Inside apply enary operation, presumably. Right, yeah, this is where we do the... Yeah, okay, I see. This is where we do the broadcasting. Nice one. If it didn't coerce to literals, then the depth check fails due to int. Yeah, sure. Okay, nice one, Cam. I still think it would be nice to include this test just in case somebody refactors this or changes this in the future and it doesn't go down, apply enary operation, and the broadcasting for aggregations doesn't happen. So I'd say add extra test for good measure. And let's check through the rest. But yeah, nice. In the meanwhile, Dask is now red. Yeah, because CI is starting to take a while. Fun story. When I started Narwhals, I was contributing quite heavily to Polars, and I thought, so in ooh, XPath strict, Modin PyArrow. What? Has there been a new Modin release or something? June 19? No. But what? Why is this? How the hell does Dask take 1.2 seconds to do this test? SQL frame. What is going on? Why are we getting these tests that look just totally unrelated? Is that... Okay, so Modin... This is so confusing. It's probably something I've changed in the conf test. So Modin had a release last week, but surely would have seen a CI failure by now. And the rest of it seems to be green. SQL frame. Also hasn't had a release in a while. Looks like they're slowing down a bit. Which might be the inevitable focus, the inevitable destiny of one-person projects. Not necessarily a bad thing. So yeah, I probably accidentally changed something I wasn't meant to change. Let's just temporarily mark as viewed everything that's inside the daf subfolder and just check what else we need to... Yeah, what else I might have accidentally changed. Little type hint, yeah, that's probably fine. The other thing that comes to mind is, does Daft pin any... Yeah, does that... Oh, wait, this we probably want to... Okay. Looks like I did change some tests. Perhaps I involuntarily did more than I meant to. Yeah, time zones. 8 time zones. Yeah, okay, just gonna remove Daft from what I can for now. Let's see if we can find what we might have changed, which caused the other test to start failing. Well, there's pipe. Oh, right, because Daft doesn't have the power operator. Seriously. Seems like the most fundamental thing, no? But they don't do powers. All right, there's too many tests here. Let's just look at concat vertical. What file is this in? So this is tests frame concat test. Did we modify anything? Well, did I modify anything in there? Yeah, completely changed it. Do we get this warning anywhere else when grouping with the length 1? This, like, let's see. Let's see if we can run this. I'm going to have to temporarily install Modin, not something I'm ever super enthusiastic about. So, what is this? Modin engine equals Python. Let's run this test using Modin, see if anything happens. And it passes. Am I on the Daft branch? No, sorry, I'm still on the PyArrow one. Let's go back to the Daft one. Okay, it does indeed fail. Fine, so be it. Wait, what? Seriously, in sort values? This feels like Modin. This doesn't feel possible. I think in the PyProject.toml we had a way of silencing some things which were raised just by Modin. We just do it for this test. I mean, part of me does wonder, why did I need to modify this test in the first place? I included a sort, probably to keep, yeah, okay. Yeah, it's just filter warning if Modin doesn't stay up to date with pandas calls. That's their problem. So ignore this one. Future warning. Warning raised internally by Modin. Also, future warnings like these are super annoying because users just cannot do anything about them. Okay, so got that one passing, and the other one that was raising was the cast to enum v1. Why? Why would this change? By running it, let's see. So we're going to use -k to only run what? Oh yeah, it's because Modin PyArrow doesn't run by default for good reason. Oh, XPath strict. To enum. I think we can just remove Modin from here then. I think it was probably a mistake. I think the way it was written previously, this was a bit strange, or string constructor equals Modin. This would never be true. It just couldn't be true. So we were failing Modin unnecessarily. Okay, that gets rid of a couple of things. 3 failures. The last one is this one here with columns, dtypes, single row, SQL frame. Let's take a look at that one. Then, if we can at least get CI green, I'll consider this task complete for now. And okay, let's take a look at the test. With columns test. Did I modify anything in there? So frame with columns test. So I've removed the request, and then we've said if any x is in a constructor for x in duckdb. I've got daft twice for some reason. Oh, yeah, okay, never mind. Copy and paste error. So get it green. Broccoli. Agreed. Also, Modin should support enum via the same means as pandas. Yeah. True. So yeah. Sorry, Modin. That was me going unnecessarily harsh. Okay, nice. I think we've got this. Refresh. Let's see if we can get it. Yeah, let's see if it actually does become green, but I think we were pretty close. Then maybe, just maybe, next week we can consider shipping this. And this is less than 2,000 lines of code changed. I remember for the IBIS PR we had more than 2,000. Maybe that's a sign that we're getting a bit better at doing code sharing. Maybe. Anyway. I think it's time for a little intermission, so see you back shortly. All right. Right then. Let's get back to it. Let's do this. Feeling pumped. So what are we trying to accomplish? Right, so first curious to see whether the daft PR actually became green. Lol. No. It will never become green. There's just some... Is it just missing coverage? Again, just... Oh, concat diagonal. So... Well, I really do want to merge the... This is such a strange warning as well. Like, why are you grouping to do a vertical concat? Okay, another warning. I'm also curious to see if there's anything we can... So like some H broadcasting. Let's see, some horizontal constructors equals daft. Does this one pass now? That would be pretty nice. And it's in the... Oh no, it's in the horizontal broadcast tests. So gonna pass constructors equals daft. Let's see if it becomes... No, it's still not green. Max... Oh, max horizontal. Well, this is a bad name, isn't it? Oh, because we're doing all of these ones. Max horizontal. Is this one really not implemented for daft? I feel like it should be, no? So daft.functions. Okay. So from daft.functions import, is this LLM generate? No, is there something like greatest? Yeah, they don't have this one. I think I'd raised this with them. Max horizontal, no. What about min horizontal? I feel like I'd... No, I feel like there was something that I'd raised about horizontal functions. Columns max. Oh, this one is in fact closed. Oh, they've got columns. Nice. Well, it is... Okay, well, that's pretty neat. Well, in that case, let's just make a note of it on the daft PR. So let's see. Let's make some to-dos. So use nulls first when appropriate, pending daft release. Use columns sum etc for horizontal functions. There's also over pushdown. I feel like this one is probably might be supported now. Let's see. Over pushdown test constructors equals daft. Yeah, skipped. Unless we comment it out from the conf test. in which case, no, still not happy. Yeah, feels like we're doing everything right here. Okay, never mind. Gotta take a look at this one later. But it looks like it's shaping up, getting into a better state. So yeah, coalesce. So let's go back to the top. So in Arrow, as we were saying, we're making a tuple. Oh, right, because we need to use this in different parts, so it can't just be like a generator, which would get exhausted quickly. So yeah, if it's an expression, keep it as is. Otherwise, use lit. And make sure to broadcast it. This. This is probably fine for PyArrow. I've got a feeling that for pandas, it's going to create issues. So let's look at pandas next. In fact, we are doing that here for pandas as well. And I'm not sure we should. So this was feet coalesce. Let's go to that PR. So when doing git checkout, you can use -f to just force going to the new branch. So if you don't do it, Git will tell me, I've got some local changes that I'm going to lose. So -f is just telling Git, look, I'm happy to lose those changes. I was just messing around. I don't really need them. Okay. So we're going to go into pandas like namespace. One of the issues here is that pandas does not really know, like when we're making a literal, we don't know which D-type backend to make. And then comparing, say, the classical date time with a PyArrow one could be problematic. But I think the good news is that we don't need it because we're just calling fill null, which should be able to work with just a scalar. So if we just comment this out, let's see if it works. What if have I done? Just that. Okay. So PyTest coalesce test. Oh, this is the issue that Cam was writing about in the chat. Int has no attribute depth. Coalesce max. Oh, right. Yeah, this doesn't feel like a strong enough reason to be using lit, which can have other downsides. I should probably add this to the contributing guide. So what should we do instead? essentially this depth isn't, it kind of isn't necessary because this is never just going to be depth 1. Yeah, I like the suggestion in the chat, but I would start at 1 rather than 0. Just to make sure that then the total is at least 2. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, so we might want to rename extras now. Yeah, it's kind of pandas like expra or scalar. Is there an annotation for scalar? I thought we had something. Like, I don't know, fill, null. Is it this one? Non-nested literal. Yeah, we probably want this one. No, sorry. Ah. What do we do in some horizontal, actually? Yeah, we do that here as well. And what does that take as an argument? It takes, again, extras, which... Wait, how does this work? It seems like here we are able to use this. Oh, maybe this one doesn't work with just passing in scalars. Which maybe is... I've got a feeling that we had an issue about this, and maybe that's fine. Maybe it's fine to just disallow passing scalars. It's fine to ask the users to do something. So from native, let's say pd.dataframe A, 1, 2, 3, B, 4, 5, 6, and then if we do with columns, some horizontal, we're going to take A and then 3. Oh, just... That's a disgusting error message. I thought we had an issue about this, and I thought that we'd said that there was a good enough error message. So allow for scalars in some horizontal, yeah. Okay, so we used to have a good error message which said expected an object which can be converted into an expression and got int. Whereas now we get a rubbish error message. So yeah, my suggestion for this PR would be maybe can we assume that the all expressions and raise the same rubbish error message we get in some horizontal for now. We can then address them together with a more general solution. So somehow we've regressed and now get a rubbish error message. Can this be caught at the Narwhals front end? Yeah, definitely. So either it should be caught at the Narwhals front end or it should be allowed. And I'm curious. So if we made this lazy duckdb, what is that going to do? Int object is not callable. Yeah, okay, so it's, yeah, it should be disallowed at the Narwhals level. So yeah, we should disallow non-expression input here at the Narwhals level. I don't think it's worth adding complexity to allow for non-expression input. If someone's using like one of these horizontal functions, it's almost certainly between different columns. And if they've got a literal, they can just put nw.lit, like a big deal. But I do think that this raise is the priority. In fact, I think it becomes at least medium. Error reporting, so it raises an error. Well, yeah, I wouldn't call it a bug, because it raises an error, just not the error that I wanted to raise. Okay, anyway. Let's go through the rest of it, because apart from that, I think this looked good. Okay, nice. We've added this here to the compliant protocol. Hope that wasn't too painful. Then in Dask, yeah, we're also doing this lit. Yeah, same comment. Self.lit. I didn't realize we had self.lit. But yeah. This is, yeah, here I think it makes fine. Like, if we need to summarize the rule, it's for SQL libraries, then use lit as much as possible. And for pandas, try not to use it. If you try to keep things as actual scalars, if you can. Yeah. But I like the general idea. Ooh. This kind of scares me. This kind of scares me. Do we need it? Yeah, so seems right. Stabilify. And the tests we saw earlier. So yeah. Let's just summarize the content from the stream. So thanks. Really nice. So lit isn't ideal for pandas because we don't know which D-type backend to use. We'd be better off leaving scalars as they are. Having said that, if we do force someone to use lit, then that won't know which D-type backend to use either. Just trying to think if there's anything we can do. Yeah, so as a first step, I'd suggest checking that all inputs are expressions and raising at the narwhals level if they're not. At a later stage, lower prio, we could look into allowing scalars and try to handle them in pandas without broadcasting. Well, without unnecessary broadcasting. Without introducing extra lit. But yeah, awesome stuff. So I think this one was pending on that one. And then I wanted to take a look at offset by as well. And we've also got, there was one by Edo. Unifying column not found. Maybe let's do that one first. Yeah, sure, this looks right. Convert to PyArrow if it started as PyArrow. It's very odd that Pandas doesn't do this by default, but whatever. Okay, never-ending discussion. So D-type backend equals PyArrow. I presume he did this because he wanted to parameterize. the intention was to parameterize this. I think we can just inline PyArrow and then just keep this one explicit, like just assert result type equals PyArrow. So I presume the original intention was to parameterize. So I'm going to approve this and then just leave that as a note. Thanks, just a minor comment, but feel free to ignore. In fact, this is so minor, I don't even feel like leaving it. Actually, I do, because this could hide. I don't like that we're using well, we are using dtype backend twice. We could just assert against the pandas type, but that one probably changes across versions. This is probably fine. Let's just approve. Gosh, sweating here. It's really hot in Wales. What temperature have we got to? Okay. I think there are people watching who might think that 24 degrees is nothing to complain about, but humidity 61%. Yeah, it feels bad. Anyway, gonna take a little break. Be back soon. Okay, let's do this. So unifying column not found for DuckDB and PySpark. Anything interesting we should be looking at? No, not really. Oh, there are some conflicts as well. So from what I remember, this was, yeah, really solid. The test, yeah, the implementation was solid, maybe just on the testing side. The Yeah, okay, so this is kind of nice, just like doing some tests only over lazy backends. Yeah, I think this is fine. So then we've got in the select case. Yeah, okay, we're just checking it in different cases. This is actually really thorough. We just emit the message which varies across versions. Yeah, really nice to explain this. Oh lol, it was already in there, but still nice to preserve this. Okay, yeah, we've already got prop test. That's fine then. Yeah, I'd looked at this earlier. So where do we need this lazy constructors? Which... Oh, constructor lazy here. Missing columns, lazy. Yeah, I just feel slightly uneasy about adding complexity to the testing utilities for something that's only used in one test. And if we do add this, then so okay, I'll just try to elaborate my thoughts. So I feel slightly uneasy about adding an extra constructor just for one test. And if we need to add it, then maybe constructors could be a combination of eager constructors and lazy constructors rather than making all three, not combination, union. If possible, I'd suggest to leave as is for now and see if it's possible to use constructor in the test. Okay. So, Tuxedo looks good to me. Just a couple of merge conflicts and a suggestion on the tests, but then I'd say we can ship it. And yeah, I also need to reply to his question here. Yeah, that's fine. I think in general, it's okay to aim for, we try to unify what we can, but there may be slight differences. But there may be some differences that we have no control over. Okay, nice. Yeah, so... Offset. Okay, it's all green. That is encouraging. So yeah, this is the offset by method. Okay, technically this isn't alphabetically sorted. Maybe let's comment on that. Yeah. Can we sort can we keep it alphabetically sorted? Yeah, same here. So we're getting this interval, floor temp. Yeah, this the logic here isn't changing. Interval, I presume this is like a data class or something. Oh, it's just, yeah, it's just a class, which exposes multiple and unit. And then you can convert to time delta. Supported, yeah, nanosecond, because the Python time delta just goes up to microsecond. Sure. Lol. So we've got a pass and pass no constraints. Right. So this keeps the existing logic that where we disallow certain combinations, because I can truncate. It's really awkward to do something like truncate by 4 days, like something that doesn't exactly divide the year. Or like if you truncate by 3 months, then 1 year gets divided into 4 months. Sorry, into 4 3-month periods, and it's clear for each date which period it should go, which bucket it should go into. If you do truncate by 5 months, then it doesn't exactly divide. And there were some inconsistencies with regards to respecting the origin. Now, Polars did eventually fix this, but I think PyArrow didn't. But yeah, that's a separate discussion. So, going back here to series, so we're passing the interval, offset by... Oh, for arrow, year, quarter, and month are not yet supported. Presumably arrow just doesn't give us a way to do it. Sure. So if it's a day, then we first convert this to time delta. We find the original time zone. Okay, so this is what I'd suggested doing in the issue itself, which was that if we need to add a day, then first remove the time zone, then offset a day, and then put the time zone back, so that we're going forwards by 1 calendar day, rather than by 24 hours. So yeah, if we're in the time zone aware case, without time zone, assume time zone, add, sure. For nanoseconds, we can't use time delta, so we need to make a PyArrow scalar, sure. And then we can just add that. Otherwise, it's just a simple to time delta, and we don't need to worry about the time zone case. And we add that. Okay, nice. Happy with that. I hope that PyArrow gives us a way of adding calendar durations as well. Then Narwhals compliant expr. Oh, this is just like the eager exprity, where we're just reusing the series case for the expression one. Okay, nice. Then dusk. So here we're just using the new interval API, sure. Offset by... We don't support... Okay, I'd have thought that we would be able to support D. Oh. Yeah, we can't, because we don't have like a type of expression for dusk. Okay, sure. It's fine. Then duckdb, okay, update that for the new API, sure. Then we're making a literal... We just use the function... Oh, yeah, function expression. I thought we were now... Ah, yeah, can we use F here? It's imported on line 15 from Narwhals duckdb utils. Nice, okay. Then duration, days, hours, minutes, seconds, milli, micro. Got this mapping, sure. Oh yeah, this is what we were looking at earlier. So we're converting to time delta. Pretty much keeping the existing logic. It's just packaged a bit more nicely into a class. Okay, nice. This might actually be a nice usage of classes. Yeah, nice. Then ibis offset by is not implemented. This, I'm curious. Does ibis not let us offset by with a time delta? So import ibis, import, yeah, let's just use polars. So from datetime import some, yeah, some standard library things. So let's make a polars data frame. A is going to be datetime 21.10.25. Then ibis.mem table df. And then let's say ibis.underscore a plus time delta days equals 1 to polars. Okay, looks like this does actually work for ibis. Do they have an expression? Ibis add 1, add time delta, something like that. Add an interval to a timestamp. Add. Is this all we get? Just add. Okay, I was kind of hoping we might get a little doc string, but okay. Like, is it this one? Add. Dot add time. Can we just put a time delta in here? Yeah, this works as well. But what else can we put in there? Like, did we get anything? This is complete rubbish. Wow. Okay. Like, yeah, it's good to add, but what does it take? What? I don't know. I'm just gonna try adding like one day, not implemented type. What if we make it a literal? Ibis.literal 1 day. Interval 1 day. No, okay, I have no idea. But I think it should work to just add a time delta. I think it works to just add a time delta for ibis. Shall we reuse the same logic from Dask? I.e. just support what can be expressed in terms of time delta. Exclude month, year, nanosecond, etc. Curious, is there something about this? Ibis add 1 month. Yeah, okay. Mental note, ask ibis if there's a way to do this. Then where were we? Okay, pandas. This can be at the top of the file, right? Like we've always got pandas available for all of these. I think we often import pandas at the top of a file. Because it's just always like yeah, it just should always just be like a dependency. Yeah, should be fine to import this at the top of the file. The pandas like libraries all depend on pandas anyway. Arrow utils. I think this can also be at the top of the file. Although this is probably only used in the arrow case. So it's used here in the else branch. Wait, I'm so confused. Yeah, I'm so confused. So we're importing this from arrow utils, but we only use it in the non-arrow case. Where is this defined? Oh, it is indeed here in the arrow one. Still slightly confused by what we're doing. So if it's PyArrow, this looks like we're repeating the logic from arrow. Would, yeah. Which is, I guess it's fine. We're just repeating it twice. This one kind of surprises me. But also, I think unit... Yeah, does unit not work here? Like, let's just try this. Put pandas PD. So what are we using here? This is time delta. Yeah, it looks like it... I mean, it should work to just use the unit directly. The only one where it won't work is D, because in pandas this should be uppercase. Yeah, this is fine. I'm just nitpicking. This yeah, this is a little complex though. Yeah, let's just leave a comment about this. So from here onwards, it's quite complex. Maybe we could make a helper function which does this in arrow. Arrow somewhere. And we reuse that both here and in arrow series dt. Yeah, I'm okay with copy and pasting, but yeah, this just feel like it's a bit more complex than we'd like. Polars, nice, okay. Like that. Because Polars is a bit more flexible here. And oh, times time pad, nice. Yeah, they don't support offsetting by nanoseconds, a bit annoyingly. Okay, yeah, nice example. Sure. Oh yeah, this PySpark localizing to UTC thing I need to look into. Yeah, sure, Dusk. I think pandas should be able to support a month though. I think pandas can do pd.date offset. Yeah, that's it. 1 month. So if we make something like pd.series, date time 2020 10 25, s plus date offset 1 month. What? What? Oh, you can use months equals 1. Yeah, we should be able to do this. Pandas, so I think for pandas we can use date offset for month. And so then dusk doesn't support D. Oh yeah, because we need the time zone information. Sure, that's fine to exfile. And then by multiple ones. Okay, I'm testing lots of combinations where, oh, here it's always just one. Not sure it needs to be a separate test, but sure, that's fine. Similar X fails as before, sure. Oh, time zone. Yeah, I saw this earlier and opened an issue about making utilities for time zones because this is just a nightmare. Nice. So yeah, so this is just to check that if we go forwards, it actually happens according to the local time zone. It's not like it's going to UTC and messing things up that way. Oh yeah, here. Oh, nice. We've got a test specifically for daylight savings time. Europe, Amsterdam. Sure, nice. Okay, nice. Got an eager one. Some invalid interval. 1R. Nice. Okay, awesome stuff. So solid effort here. Just left some comments. Okay, yeah, let's take a break and then finish things off. Okay, where are we? Okay, there's no way this is actually the time, which means it's not long until we call it a day. So, well, no, let's do some follow-ups. So let's go into IBIS and let's ask if there's any way to add a month. So let's be good open source citizens and start by checking whether it's been asked before. Something like add month. Okay, there's a few. There's a few open. I don't think these are what we're looking for. I don't think so. I don't think it's this one either. No. That's more like dt.combine. More expressions. Is this it? Add months. Looks like there's a few relevant things. So, yeah. Okay, not sure what this is. This seems completely unrelated. So it's got to do with dropping Python versions. Oh, wow! Lol. So remove support for Python 9, and then they added support for Python 9 back in. Wow. Okay, that's kind of cool. I don't know how I got it on here from searching for month. Oh, okay. Totally unrelated. Anyway. Biodide. This also seems completely unrelated. So it's a request for Biodide support, which it looks like they closed. I think they should be able to support Biodide. Not sure why they don't. So, if start date, what is... Oh, what on earth? I'm so confused. Yeah, okay, so considering this plus interval 2 months. Yeah, but how do you do this from the Python API? I can't find it. Okay, let's just feature request. Feature. Add n months from a Python API. So related to a problem, well, to Narwhals support. Sorry, the other way around. IBIS support in Narwhals. So yeah, let's just paste what we'd found earlier. So if I have a table, then adding a time delta seems to work fine. So if I have a table, then adding a time delta works fine. But how do I add a non-constant duration like 2 months? It's not clear from the docs, not clear to me from the docs what add supports. Let's link to it. Let's show that we did make a concerted effort here. And it just says add an interval. What would I like? Yeah, I don't know. Something like, I don't know, but something. Maybe I missed it. What version am I running? 10.6. Which backends? Yeah, whatever. Perl, DB, anything. Okay, opened. Cool, I think we're at time. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, thanks people for tuning in. This was a fun one. Gonna drop. Yeah, all the best. Hasta luego. Ciao.